Hello everyone, this is my dog's daily routine, a day in the life, if you will. So Otis always sleeps outside my bedroom door. Baby Dill stays snuggled up, all snuggly-buggledy in bed. He loves it. First thing in the morning, Otis will go out for a wee. Baby Dill doesn't really surface. Sometimes he'll get out of bed for breakfast, but sometimes even that can't get him out of bed. Whereas Otis is kind of up and at it first thing, wants his food, is ready to start the day, whereas Baby Dill and I, we've been in this game for a bit longer, and we just like to take the mornings at our own pace. He's such a good boy, he won't touch his food until you say, okay, go on then, which I've never had a dog that is so trainable. Baby Dill, you ask him to do anything and he just looks at you like, why? So whilst Otis is finishing his breakfast, Baby Dill will come for a little bit of snuggly time. He loves, I know all dogs do, but he just loves a cuddle and a scratch, and he can be a little bit defensive of me in the morning. He doesn't like Otis getting too much attention. So with Otis being a puppy, and well, he's not a puppy, but he is now a young dog, he does take a little bit more time and attention than Baby Dill does. He's 9 now. We've taught him everything we can. So I just try and even out the scales by giving Baby Dill a bit more time in the morning. And Otis is a bit more active anyway. He wants to be up and about playing. So after I've had a cup of coffee, I'll go outside and start doing the horses. And I've learnt my lesson to take a ball or some sort of toy with me to keep them engaged, to keep Otis engaged whilst I'm doing the horses. Because if you just ignore him like I do with Baby Dill, he can go off and do his own thing. He does tend to wander, and I just find that if you've got a toy, you're playing with the ball whilst doing the horses, it just keeps him focused and he's not going to wander off anywhere. And also, it's a good bit of exercise first thing in the morning. It means that I don't necessarily have to take them for a walk before I go back in the house and start doing some work or have to go out for the day. So it's just a chance for them to have some fun. I suppose it's training as well, because it's fetch. If Baby Dill gets the ball, it's bad news, because whereas Otis will get it and bring it back, Baby Dill will just get it and then hoard it, and he doesn't want to give it back. He just wants to rip it to shreds and destroy it. As you can see, he got the ball away from me there. It's actually only been the last month or two where Dylan will actually play with Otis. Before that, he was a little bit put off by his size, and I think he was just a bit intimidated and a bit frightened of getting stood on or hurt. But now Otis is kind of coming a little bit more out of the bouncy puppy stage where he's just clumsy and over everything. I think Baby Dill can tolerate it a bit more now, and he's actually enjoying his company rather than just resenting his existence and being jealous of him. Once they've had a little bit of exercise with the ball, I can start actually doing things with the horses, like mucking out, and I know that Otis isn't going to wander off. Baby Dill is really doing his own thing at this point. I don't really see him until he wants to be seen, when he wants attention. So I'm just sorting the horses out, and then I'll turn them out in the paddocks, and then I'll play with the ball for a bit more. Baby Dill's decided he wants a bit more of the action. He's ready for another go. I don't know what it is, but I can't throw, I can't aim, I can't do anything. So the horses have to just be on their guard a little bit. I've never hit one yet, but there have been times we've been close. Anyway, so this just gives me an opportunity to check the horse's feet, especially checking Billy's bandage, make sure that the duct tape is all sealed and all okay. So we're a bit watertight. And then that's kind of it. I take the dogs for a little bit of a pootle round the paddocks, just check there's no rabbit holes, let them have a walk in the top paddock. They love this paddock. How many times have I just said paddock? They love it. It used to be an orchard, and it's just lovely. And then I try and integrate a little bit of training just throughout the day. Teaching Baby Dill how to do paw has taken me 8.5 years. He only started doing it when he saw that Otis was getting praise for doing it as a puppy, which is classic Baby Dill. Okay, so it's a few hours later now. They've had a snooze for a good few hours, and I took them to my friend's yard to go out with me on the bike while she was on her horse. They love getting in the car. They know it's exciting. We're going on an adventure. At this point, plans were completely ruined by the weather. We thought it was going to be a lovely sunny day, and then it was just torrential rain. So I left the dogs in the car for a little bit. The hack that we had planned was just completely not going to happen. So instead, we decided that my friend would lunge her horse in the school and I'd just hang around with the dogs for a bit. But then the sun came out, so we thought, okay, let's get this show back on the road. So I'm on the bike, I've got both the dogs, but I decided to actually take Otis off the lead because he does pretty much stay to heel anyway, or well, not at that point, but if you call him back, he will come, and it's a very quiet road. Whereas Baby Dill isn't as trustworthy, if a car comes, he'll kind of just stand in the middle of the road and be like, what are you going to do about it? Classic small man. It's been a few years since I've been on a bike, so I was a little bit wobbly, but nonetheless enthusiastic. And I think when you don't necessarily have any talent, enthusiasm is everything. A good attitude. You can see my friend's horse is literally bouncing along. He was so fresh. But then the weather turned. It's pouring with rain. I'm getting drenched. Miserable. We're a long way from home. But it's fine. So I manned up. We got back to the yard, put the dogs in the car, and then we go home and the dogs have their tea. After they've had some food, it's definitely snoozy time. They were exhausted. It was, I don't know how far we went on the bike. Maybe, I want to say 3-4 miles maybe. You can see Otis is so tired. He's got fluff hanging out his mouth. And Baby Dill's like, I'm not moving for love nor money. So when it's time to go out and do the horses for the evening, I'm like, Baby Dill, do you want to come? And he's like, I'm going to pass. I'm going to stay here. I'm comfortable and I'm exhausted. So I just give him a little bit of a snuggle and Otis and I go up and do the horses. I don't know how he still has energy, but he does. He wants to come out, so that's fine. I would not recommend getting a German pointer if you're not very active and outdoorsy, because from what I've experienced, they just want to be doing things all the time. Little Macallie Alley having a roll. Isn't he cute? So Otis is still wanting to play fetch, and I only throw it a couple of times because he is a young dog. He's done quite a lot of exercise today, and I don't want to cause any damage to his muscles or bones or things. He is still growing. God help me. I think he's expected to make about 16 hands. Like I said about integrating training throughout the day, I'm making him stay and not come to me until I call him. And I'm quite proud of the level of dog training I've got to without going to any puppy classes or anything. As you can see, Baby Dill hasn't really moved the whole time we've been out, but it is now bedtime and they have to go out for a wee before nanites. Otis is always straight up. Baby Dill just does everything in his own time. You cannot rush him. He is a distinguished gentleman and he will do it as he pleases. So there we are. We get them outside for a little wee and then it's bedtime. I always tuck them in to bed. Like, Baby Dill loves being tucked in. So I have to do this every night. Tuck him in, give him a little kiss on the forehead, give him a pat. Otis gets tucked in as well. It's at this point that I realise I am completely sad, but I just love them. I love them so much and I just want them to be happy and have as nice a life as I can possibly give them. So that's their day done. It's nanites. Thank you so much for watching and we'll see you in the next one.